One of the biggest factors today is the dramatic budget cuts in education and public safety entities and state and federal government agencies. So we're very much focused on trying to find ways to help schools and their community partners actually reduce costs while improving the level of safety, security, and emergency preparedness. And in fact, we found that these tools can be very effective cost-cutting measures. We're also seeing a lot of emphasis on how to improve the quality of education through safety as a school improvement tool with a statewide initiative in the state of Hawaii and with initiatives in many school districts around the country. We want to make sure that we're doing things that really have a lot of impact in relation to the effort and cost involved. And schools and school districts spend hundreds of billions of dollars a year correcting safety problems after the fact, and we want to, of course, be proactive, lowering workers' compensation claims, getting kids in the classroom instead of expulsions and arrests, damage to facilities, the list goes on. But the costs that have often been accepted as a cost of doing business for schools can often be eliminated or reduced significantly. Our educational institutions are being just clobbered with massive budget cuts, unrealistic expectations from our public. We're often seeing our schools contrasted to schools in other countries in terms of test scores. We work globally. We've worked in about 2 dozen countries, and it's extremely difficult to gauge American students against students in Germany, England, Japan, and other countries. It's like comparing totally apples and oranges, and there's a lot that the general public doesn't understand. We work a lot in Vietnam. If you're in a wheelchair, have limitations of sight, hearing, emotional difficulties, you don't go to a traditional school at all. We dare to educate in this country those who are discarded by the millions in other parts of the world. And yet when we compare test scores, we're counting students who have more challenges to learning, and school districts and schools who are spending incredible sums of money to deliver services that aren't even attempted in many countries. So, it's putting immense pressure on our educational system. There's a lot of disinformation out there, and we find our school officials struggling to keep their organizations functioning efficiently, and there's so many important issues that they're trying to tackle. We find students and parents and school employees tend to be very receptive to school safety, security, and emergency preparedness technology if it's presented properly to them and if the human environment is correct. So we want to be careful. Technology definitely has a piece. In other arenas like the interoperable communications, it's literally life or death, and it is one of those core competency areas. If you cannot communicate during a crisis event, you are limited in your ability to save human life and to prevent suffering. And so the progressive strategies here in the state of Colorado to try to help schools understand and embrace interoperable communications are a core value to effective emergency preparedness.